call came out yesterday. While the government is dealing with its inaction on the Maorification of New Zealand by saying, but we are so tough on law and order. And yesterday they had the protection for first responders and prison guards. And then they had the King Hit legislation, which I think we've all agreed we like the spirit of, but maybe in a practical sense, it's just we got to build as an excuse to all assaults are serious and everyone should get the book thrown at them. But interestingly enough, another law and order issue came up yesterday, and that was that the Motor Trade Association has come out and said it wants the government to do more about petrol theft. And you might remember a month or so back, there was some suggestion that there was a police memo saying we're not going to worry too much about petrol drive-offs. Well, to find out why this is an issue and what more could be done, we're joined from the Motor Trade Association by Simon Bradwell. Simon, thanks for coming on, mate. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, Sean. Hope you're well.
All right. Now, what do the statistics tell us about petrol theft?
Well, the police own data tells us there was 30,000 cases reported to them of petrol or fuel theft last year alone. So that's in calendar 2024. And that's probably, a lot smaller than the actual number because a lot of cases don't get reported.
Yeah.
The reason for that is mostly because service station owners don't think there's any point in reporting the crime.
Don't they have an integrated system called Aura, though, that video system, and that takes the rego of every car that does a drive-off, and it feeds it into a police database, doesn't it?
Correct, but the problem is that's all it does. So that the information gets filed with police. Police say, thank you very much, thank you for reporting this crime. We'll add it to our database, good to know. But that doesn't actually mean they're going to go around, knock on the door of the offender, say, hey, we know you pinched $100 from Bradwell's Motors down the road. So, we're here to arrest you and follow up on that. That step doesn't happen. And that's the lack of action and interest that service stations really object to, and that's a daily reality for them.
But what service stations can and do is they flag your license plate number and you can't get service, right? Or they can ring the cops when you pull up to the next time you come to a service, there's that car that nicked that gas.
No, the system's not that efficient, unfortunately. By the time, they've driven off with the fuel, because it's not like every service station in the country has a nationwide alert system saying that FHZ 999's pulled up, don't let them on the forecourt. The system's not that advanced. People can still bounce around from service station to service station and try the same trick again. And drive off with $100 or $150 worth of fuel.
Because I had a recent, and a personal experience, I drove into a gas station. I just reported that one of my number plates had fallen off. So I'd reported that to the police. I go into the gas station and they get the back plate and they say, oh, your car's reported as stolen. And I said, no, it's not stolen. The number plate's been lost. So it was working. They were getting the feedback.
Well, it would be nice if we lived in a world where that happened, and as soon as a car drove onto a service station that had a history of doing this, that they were the pumps automatically locked and they couldn't get the fuel. But the reality is we're a long way from that.
All right, and the cops would turn up and arrest someone, or at least make some inquiries.
Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, that would be nice, but we're never going to live in that world. So what we're asking instead is that when there's evidence that somebody has stolen fuel, and it's clear, and there's CCTV and all the rest of it, how about doing your job and going around, seeing that offender, arresting them, charging them, and following the legal process, seeing it through. But the other thing that we want police to do is actually take a little bit more interest in preventing it from happening, because that would be a better solution, wouldn't it, as if we actually stopped theft from happening. And if police took a little bit more interest on that side of things, we would be very appreciative.
All right. So have you talked, I imagine for you to have gone public yesterday, Simon, you've tried to deal with this with police off camera, is that right?
Yeah, we've worked with police for a long time, actually, for years on this issue.
Then why go public yesterday? Are you not happy with their response?
Well, yesterday wasn't the first time we've gone public, to be honest. We've been public on this for months, actually. For the last year, we've made a big noise about fuel theft at service stations. And we do have a relationship with police, and we do talk with police, and it's, they're reasonably receptive, but we're still not getting the response that service station members and owners want which is a bit more police interest and investigation.
Okay, there was that memo about, and there was a whole lot of other things around it, that really petrol theft wasn't a high priority, essentially.
Yep. And look, I think most people understand there's a resourcing issue. There's not enough cops to go around and investigate every crime. We get that. We also get that crime has to be prioritised. I mean, there's violent crime, there's sexual crime, there's a lot of things going on that obviously is a higher priority than fuel theft. Everyone gets that. It's a fair directive that basically said we're not going to investigate anything under $150. I mean, that's just a slap in the face.
Well, that's most cars you fill for 150. That's a tank of gas. That's the perfect price point.
Yeah.
For the crims to get away with it, isn't it?
Exactly right, and that's coming out of someone's pocket. It's not victimless crime. I mean, you're not just driving away and thinking, we got away with that.
Can you put a dollar value on how much petrol gets nicked at the pump every year, Simon?
You could do a back of an envelope calculation, but I mean, there was 30,000 thefts last year. Let's say that each one of them was $100, probably about right. You do the math.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and it's hitting hard-working business owners in the pocket. They're not all multinationals, with massive bank balances. A lot of service stations are small businesses run by a mum and dad, and that hurts their bottom line directly.
Simon, I'm getting a lot of texts, and oh my God, how is this so hard? Just set all pumps to pay before you fill. It's not rocket surgery.
Well, there's a couple of problems with that approach. Yes, that's true. That does make a difference. But first of all, that's a little bit like victim blaming, isn't it? This is one of the things police tell service
Mind you,
agents
look,
do.
I go to a lot of places where it's prepay at night, which I presume is when most drive-offs happen, right?